Hello gamers, welcome to another edition of Tonight on Mage Hammer's Game Table, where tonight I'm continuing my series featuring my own role-playing game design, Delves and Dangers. I have this up on itch.io as a pay-what-you-want download if you're interested in some DIY role-playing game goodness, in my opinion. So you can go out and check that out if you like what you see in this video. So far in this video, my heroes... Hyli, she's a human fighter. Pendleton Flufffoot, he's a halfling wizard. Morden Shieldcraft, he is a dwarf cleric. And Tandalus Shadowlight, she is an elf thief. So, they have been clashing with a mad mage who hired them under false pretenses, poisoned them, and then put them into one of his delves to test its defenses. They made their way out of that delve, went to find him in his tower where he hired them, and he defeated them there in his own home. So then he, instead of dispensing with them, put them into another one of his delves to try to get them to be able to test its defenses. They escaped from there, but ended up fairly far from home. They're based in Argos, which is right here on the map. Right here is Argos. They ended up here in the Muirwood, pretty much north of the Muirwood, and just south of the Bone Hills. And so they have been trying, they figured it out from seeing the stars as to where exactly they are, and they are making their way directly south to try to meet up with the trade road, and then from the trade road, it's a safer passage to get back to Argos. Once they get back to Argos, they're going to have to decide what to do with this wizard who has kidnapped them twice and forced them into, into one of his delves as a sick joke. But kidnapping, of course, is illegal in the Swordlands, so they hope to bring him to justice before the Lord Mayor's magistrates in Argos. So that's their plan. We'll see how that all goes. But for now, they have to get out of the Muirwood. They are now in the... they are in this week encounters. They are in the second week of a fortnight, and they are making they should be making the trade road by the 7th day. They are currently making their way through the 4th day. They've camped for the 4th day night, and now they're in the 5th day where they're going to have an encounter, as I previously rolled randomly for in last episode. So, without further ado, we're going to get to it. I also am trying to mix up the wilderness encounters, where if they end up having a daytime encounter, I'm going to roll and see if it happens near a ruin or some other kind of interesting locale that is located in Muirwood. So we're going to see how that plays out. All right, so they have broken camp on the day of the morning of the 5th day, technically 12th day of their travels, and they're making their way south towards the trade road. Singing, the weather has eased up a bit. It was rainy for a day or so, and now that it has passed, it is a pleasant spring day as they make their way through the Muirwood. So let's see what this encounter is going to be. I'm using the basic fantasy RPG encounter tables in the back of their core rules, which is a free download up on the Basic Fantasy role-playing game site. And if you haven't played Basic Fantasy, you should check it out, especially if you're a fan of old school gaming. All right, so the encounter they are going to encounter are these woods. This area is rife with these creatures. All right, let's see if they'll be able to sense them. We'll see if Tandalus can sense it, since she has the best chance, and if they can't, then if she can't, I'll let the others do it. All right, so she has a mind of 2, plus she's an elf, which gives her +1 in perception rolls of this nature, and then I'm adding 1 because she's a thief, and they are also good at listening for danger. And I'm going to say that she needs, well, I already rolled, but I'll say DL3. So right now she's got 2 successes, but that 6 means that it explodes and she rolls another. So she fails to notice them. I guess I can have the other ones roll now as well. Pendleton has a mind of 3. Morden has a mind of 3, and Hyli has a mind of 2. They need 3 successes. Hyli only gets 2 with no chance of an explosion, so she senses nothing. Morden only gets 2 successes. He senses nothing. And Highlight, or not Highlight, Pendleton Flufffoot, our halfling wizard, is at 2 successes. However, because Pendleton is a halfling, his kindred ability is that he gets to reroll 1 failed die per roll. So in this case, he's like, wait, something's in the woods. And at that point, I'm going to say the creatures reveal themselves, and we're going to roll initiative. The way initiative rolls works in my game, in case this is your first episode, is they roll a agility roll, and they have to roll 2 successes or more. And if they roll 2 or more, they go before the enemies. And if they roll fewer than that, they go after. So Morden, wow. Normally I'd re-roll those, but he's already got his 2. Everybody has 2. So they're actually going to... Flufffoot's warning came at just the right time, apparently. So here we go. So, creatures have emerged from the woods down here. And there's some in the trees off to here. And they made a lot of noise. Apparently I did not pull out an archer, so there will be no archers. And they've revealed themselves, and the initiative is rolled, and here we go. So, initiative is the creatures are going after all of them. So I can just do them in any order I want. So Pendleton sees them. He's going to cast Sleep on these 3 within 20 feet. Yeah, so these 3 he can hit. So he's going to cast a sleep spell at them. He needs to spend 2 power points. He has a casting roll value of 6. So he rolls 6 dice, re-rolling 1 failure because he's a halfling. Ugh. So he's only got 3. Orcs have a mind of 2. And so only puts 1 to sleep. So there's that. And then he moves behind this tree. Next up is, I'll go with Morden, since he's closest to his orc. He moves up on an orc and attacks. He rolls 7 dice with his warhammer. Swings at the orc, and that was a 6. So 3 6s and a 5, and 3 failures. But the 3 6s roll again. Oh my gosh, 2 more 6s. Oh my gosh, and yet another 6. That's pretty exciting. He really mad at this orc. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes. This orc has armor, minus armor value of 2, which is 7. And it's not quite enough to take down the orc, but it sure as heck was a heck of a powerful blow. So that is that. Next up is Highlight. Highlight's going to go off to the side here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. She can't quite reach, so she's just going to move up and engage these and try to take their attacks, and that's all she can do this round. And then Tantalus is going to back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And under cover that tree and shoot at that one. But that one is in the tree, so I'm going to say it has cover. So normally she rolls 5 dice, but this time she's going to roll 4. It's a harder shot. And she gets 2 successes, which is not enough to hit the orc. So that is that. All right. So now it is the orc's time. This orc walks over and wakes up this orc, and this orc stands up. That's their actions. And then they move on the dwarf, but that's it. And then this orc attacks Morden. So they roll, I believe, 6 dice with... in this case, it's a spear, but technically battle axe is usually what they have. And rolls 5 successes. He has an armor of 3, so that's 2 damage to Morden. So Morden takes 2 damage. It's down to 12. All right. Then we go to the 2 on Highlight. So they are 6 dice and 6 dice. So these are... one's white dice, one's dark dice. Ooh. All right, so the dark dice roll 5 successes. She has an armor of 3, so that's 2 damage. And then the other attack has 1 exploder, and so that is 5 successes as well. -3 is 2 more damage. And then this one, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It moves up on Tantalus, but is unable to attack. They have to take the sprint action as their main action to get up into combat. So now we are moving on to initiative. So Tantalus is going to go before the creatures. Morden goes after the creatures. Let's set up an initiative track here. So Morden's going after. Tantalus is going before. And Pendleton is going before. And Highlight is going after. All right, so they split the team. So he's very concerned about the number of opponents. So he's going to move over here, and he's going to cast Sleep at those 3 again, because in this game you can target who you want to put to sleep. So we'll see if he has better luck. So he puts 2 to sleep. He gets 2. Oh, he gets reroll a failed. Yeah, so 2 of these guys go to sleep. He moved and cast a spell, and then that brings us to Tantalus. Tantalus is fighting for her life against this orc. She's going to attack. Ooh. And so she gets 4 successes. -2 is 2 damage on this orc. All right. 2 stamina points gone. And now they attack. So that orc attacks her at 6 dice. And gets 4 successes. She has leather armor, so that's 1, so she takes 3 damage. Our value is 1 on that, so she's at 11 stamina. All right. And then the attack on Morden. Ooh, that was a good roll. With an exploder, too. Oof, another exploder. Ooh, okay, so take away 3 successes. Got 5 damage on Morden. So getting ugly. All right, so now the 2 attacks on Highlight. Ooh, 2 exploders in the white dice. All right, so that is 5 successes there, which comes down to 2. And 5 successes here, which is another 2. So, okay. So the orcs are giving a good account of themselves here. And so, now we move on to Morden. He swings at his opponent. Oh my goodness. 3. Only 1 damage to the one he's fighting, which is not enough to take it down. Oof. All right. And then Highlight attacks one of the ones that she's attacking. Did I attack with her last time? Maybe I didn't. Oh no, she had to move. That's right. She had to move up, so that's why. All right, so pretty decent. 1, 6, which explodes. All right, so 3, 4, 5, 6. So 8 successes -2 is 6 damage on one of his opponents. Not enough to bring him down, but decent. Orcs are tough after all. And now we go to initiative. Tantalus goes before them. And Morden goes after. Highlight goes after. And Flufffoot goes before. He spent 2 more spell points on that last sleep spell. Forgot to take that off. All right, so holy moly. All right, so Flufffoot's like, what the heck? Got enough for at least 1 more sleep spell. So we're going to try to sleep the ones on Highlight. He needs 4 successes. All right, so reroll a fail. All All right, and then 6 explodes. So 4 successes, 5 successes. So that's 2 and 2 each. They fall asleep. And then Highlight runs over, or Flufffoot runs over here and hides behind that tree. All right, cool. So that was Flufffoot's action. Tantalus is fighting for her life, of course. Actually, he's going to come up behind this guy and to distract him, so Tantalus gets the extra 3 dice for a sneak attack. All right, so not great, but at least rolled a 6. Yeah, so 3, which is only 1 more damage off of this one that she is fighting. All right. And then now the orcs attack. So the attack on Tantalus. Wow. 3, 6, -1 is 5 damage to Tantalus. Tantalus takes 5 damage. She's fighting though. Stamina is weakening. And then there's an attack on Mordencroft. So 5 successes again. -3 is 2. So Mordencroft takes 2 more, bringing him down to 5 stamina. He's getting tired out by this battle. And then that's it. So we go to initiative. All right. All right, Tantalus going. Everybody's going before the creatures. All right, so everybody's going before them. So we're gonna go Highlight. It's gonna run over here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Up on this guy. Can't attack. Extra distraction. Pendleton. Pendleton rarely does this, but he's actually going to stab with his dagger. He has 4 dice with his dagger. I don't think I've done that yet. And he gets 4. He gets to reroll 1 failed roll. 5 damage. -2 is 3 more off of that one, which is enough to, not enough. And still not enough to take it down. Now, Tantalus attack with all 8 dice. Sneak attack. Oh, yeah. She's starting to get his number. All right, so that's a pretty good hit, and that's going to be enough to take it down because it only subtracts 2, and that's 5 damage. Nice. So that one goes down. Didn't stand a chance. Where are we? So Highlight moved. So yeah, just Morden left. Morden attacks his opponent. 7 dice to that Warhammer of his. And gets 2 exploders. So gets 4 successes. -2 is only 2 damage. And that is enough to take him down finally. So this orc is gone. They quickly finish off the other orcs who are sleeping. And I didn't roll to see if it would have happened in a ruin, and it would not have anyway, so thank goodness. And now we're just got to remember that, man. Let me just post a die somewhere to remind myself. Yeah, okay. So they continue on their way. All right, so they make their way till it grows dark. They travel for a while in the darkness. They make camp. They eat a meal, and then they go to sleep. We'll see whose watch this encounter is going to happen on. Let's see. So, need a D4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to happen on Highlight's watch. Okay. So they go to sleep. And Highlight, she's left there by the fire. She's going to put her back to a tree and keep watch. Let's see what the encounter is going to be. Oh, all right. Okay. So a bear comes wandering into the camp looking for food, and Highlight throws some food over its head, and it goes and eats that food. It doesn't appear to be too hostile right now. Plus, it's pretty much dark, and it's wandering around in the darkness. So it eats the food, And then I'm going to roll a d6 to see whether it wanders off or not. I think since it's 8, I'm going to give it, if it rolls a 1, it will come back to the camp. So that's a 6. So it wanders off eventually, and Highlight breathes a sigh of relief. I forgot. They probably used their healing stones to heal their stamina they lost during the battle with the orcs. All right, so the next morning comes. They have breakfast. And they're going to start off after that, after they take care of all the stuff they need to take care of in the morning, they're going to make their way down through the forest. Now, for this daytime encounter, we're going to see what it is. All right, it is, okay, it's going to be that. All right, and then we are going to see if it is in a ruin. It is going to be in a ruin. So I will switch out this tile. And I think this is appropriate ruin for that. So they're approaching the menhirs here, and crashing out of the woods here comes a wild boar. And it's pretty big, and it looks very angry and nasty. And behind it is another boar. So I think 2 boars will be good for this encounter. I'll make this the other boar. I do have an actual boar, but it's not that big, so we'll just stick with these 2 because I want it to be kind of threatening because this boar is nasty. All right, so I don't really have stats for this because I'm rolling the basic fantasy, and I don't think I have one in my bestiary. So I'm going to use the stats of something else, which will work just fine. And that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to, you got to adapt and go with what you have on the fly, especially when you're solo gaming and you don't quite know exactly what you're going to be preparing to do. Yeah, let's do this. We'll give it that particular statistics. Okay. So they're coming at him. We're going to roll initiative because they made themselves, they were not being stealthy at all like the orcs were. And oof, Highlight goes after. Tantalus goes before. Pendleton Flufffoot goes before. And Morden goes after. All right. So Flufffoot has recovered all of his spell points, power points, I guess we'll call them. They're called power points in the game, so I tend to call them spell points, though. But power points, either way, whatever you want to call them, as long as you know that they're a limited resource for casting spells. All right, so he's going to attempt to put them to sleep. He's not sure if it's going to work on animals, but if animals sleep, right, then they should be able to go to sleep. So he's going to give it a shot. So he rolls 6. And he does not roll well. I think boars are fairly intelligent, so he does manage to put one to sleep. But the other one has continued to charge. And so Tantalus is going to fire off with her bow. Oh, and he runs for cover, by the way, of course. And she fires off her bow. She does 3. And they have pretty thick hide, so I'm going to have -3. So she fails to harm it. And then she also goes behind a tree. Then the boar charges. 1, 2, 3 charges the dwarf. 4, 5, 6 Highlight. So going after the dwarf. Charges the dwarf. And this is a nasty charge. I'm going to say it was rolling 8 dice for its attack. And not too bad. 5 damage. Morden manages to dodge. Or his armor absorbs 3 of it, so he takes 2. 2 damage. By Cathor, that was a heck of a blow, beast. But let me show you what a dwarf steel can do. And is going to swing at it with his warhammer. All right, so gets 5 successes, so that's 2 damage on the poor thing. All right, and then kind of sticks in there and tries to maneuver around the board if he can. Highlight moves up and attacks with her sword. She has 8 dice. And she gets 3, 6, 7 successes. -3 is 4 damage. The beast is bleeding. Very unhappy. Very angry. Boars are nasty, nasty creatures. And so it's running around trying to gore at the dwarf. We'll say he's fixated on the dwarf. So that is 8 dice. Oh, wait. I already attacked with him. Oh, we'll say they lost initiative. How's that? Since I already rolled. So 3, 6. 3, so 3. Morden takes 3 more damage. Now it's their turn. Highlight and Morden both are just going to attack. It's 3, 6, 7, and 8. Pretty good from Highlight here. Lots of 2 6s. That's pretty good. Nice. And then 3, 6, 7 -3 is 4 damage, and then this finishes off the boar. So they kill the other one too, and then they cut off some shanks and so forth, and they're going to have good ham tonight for their meal. They explore here, see if there's anything of interest here. On a 1, I'll say they find something interesting. They do not. So they continue on their way. They make camp. Oops. Where did I put my camping one? Okay. All right, so they make camp. They couldn't have gotten that far. My tile. Oh, okay. Anyway, so they make camp in their usual place. And then the next day they make it to the trade road. And they travel all the way to Argos. Because along the road of Argos, there are Kellanite way stations. Kellan's the god of adventurers and travelers. And their priests put up little shelters about a day's travel on foot throughout the trade road leading between Argos and Tranistal, the kingdom next door through the mountains. They also have now finally established the enough Kellanite way stations from Argos over to Catran in the west. So there's Kellanite way stations all along this trade road, and they they have to cross the Tranistal Bridge. They're so far away. So they travel. They stop off in Kellan's Cloak, try to get the news of the day, try to figure out. There's been no word of the Mad Mage. Why would there be, really? It's not like there's national news or anything. And then they make their way to Argos. And from Argos, they're going to try to make a plan as to what to do with the Mad Mage. And they travel to his tower and find it empty. So he has moved on. And so they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. And so we're going to have that be the next episode in this particular series. I may end up doing something a little different and continuing this story another time. I have an idea for a video and I'm trying to put it together and make sure I get it right. So if that's ready and prepared, that'll probably be what my next video is. If not, I may continue this story or I may do something completely different. I'm also working on another game system or another game in this, using this engine that I use in this system, and I'll keep that under my hat as well. And maybe I'll have that ready by the time I film my next video. We'll see. And maybe I'll feature that one, and maybe it'll be available on itch.io. We'll see. I still have some play testing to do, and I do want to make sure that I want to edit it as best I can, make sure I've got everything in the rules that I want to have in it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Once again, thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you for coming along on these little adventures of mine. It's, I'd be playing solo anyway, but it's always nice to play solo and share it with whoever passes by. So thank you for taking interest. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for those of you that have downloaded my game. I really appreciate it. And, let me know what you know and think in the comments about this story and where it's going. Do you want to see more? Are they going to find a Mad Mage? Sometimes, you go through life and you don't always get what you want. So we'll see if they end up getting justice. Anyway, I think I've rambled long enough. thank you for coming along with me on this journey. And that's all I got. Till next time, keep on rolling dice and playing games. Mage Hammer out.